Alright, so this is our server login form, and when you put in the correct username, which is admin, and if you can type correctly, and then the password, then it goes into this US login button.click, and it checks if the admin users list contains the username text that was entered and the password text that was entered. If that is the case, which it was here, it sets our bool valid to true, and it closes the window. From there, it goes into our program.cs, and it checks if that was valid. It starts our server form and then runs it. And then this pops up.
So this is for the second test case for placing a bid, and we select the item PS4, and the minimum bid that we can see is $210. So if we enter the minimum bid and click the place bid button, it goes to the UX place bid button event handler, which then proceeds to check the selected index of the item, make sure that's valid, which it was, and then it tries to parse the text box and then puts out a bid. We then initialize the settings for the JSON serializer, send it to the WebSocket containing a bunch of different items containing the index, the item that we're bidding on, the user that's bidding, the bid itself, and then a state saying that there's a bid placed. And then it resets the bid text box. After it's sent through the WebSocket, it gets sent back to the client itself with a message say a bid placed, sets the index of the item that we're bidding on, checks a property within the message object called bid placed, which is a Boolean, and then it says that it's true, therefore it's going to change what is inside of the client form, and then it's going to add a brand new bid. It's going to update the lists, and then if the username is the person that actually placed the bid itself, it is going to let you know if the bid has been placed, and in this case it is, as we bid the minimum amount and it's a valid bid. And it's going to show a message box that says bid placed. It should be popping up here. It's right there. And then after that, it breaks and leaves, and then we are back, and it shows that there's a current bid of $210 by C. Dunst, and then it updates the minimum bid, updates to one bid, and yeah.
Alright, so this is for our test case number 3 for when a bid is expired. It's going to notify the winners and the losers. C. Dunst placed a bid of $70, M. Dubowski had a bid of $60, so C. Dunst will win the bid for the Bose SoundSport. So go into the server, and we'll go ahead and stop the auction for the Bose soundboard, and that will bring us into the UX end action button click for this ending event handler. We'll go ahead and step over, and this shows us that the current item is not active anymore, and will bring us to the socket handler to the auction ended method. We'll go ahead and step into, and this shows us that the web socket is being broadcasted to all the users. Go ahead and continue, and then this brings us to the auction ended state in the client form. Just shows us that the ended item, the current item, the deserialization. We'll go ahead and step over. We'll just step through this for each loop of the bids, which will bring us to if the place bid on item is true, then this shows us our message, which will bring us here. It shows that Cooper has won the Bose SoundSport, and M. Dubowski that the auction is over and he did not win this item.
Okay, so I'm just going to show off full functionality of the actual program itself, just so that Professor Valenzuela is completely aware of exactly what the program is capable of doing. So yeah, we're gonna launch up the Bid501 server, prompted with this login screen as shown in test case 1, log in with the admin and password, and of course we're shown the list of items as well as the list of users, and we currently don't have any, so let's launch one instance of the Bid501 client, and let's log in with my credentials, which is just my first initial followed by my first initial followed by my last name, and then first initial followed by the last name for password as well. Press enter because just add that extra functionality just so it's a little easier. Don't have to just go down and click the login button when you're prompted with that. So I logged in successfully, and I am shown the Bid501 CDone screen because that is my username, and I'm officially logged in. I have not selected any items from this list, and therefore I don't have any information as of right now. So if I select the PS4, it will let me know, of course, the name of the item, how many bids are currently placed on the item, the initial bid, which is $205 by the system. So that's just what was initially put in from the system. And then there's a $5 bid increment, so I have to bid at least $210 for my bid to actually go through. And if I do not, then it will not work properly. Now the admin sees this and they think to themselves that 210 is maybe a little too much, and maybe the $5 increment is a little too high. So they want to change it, and they click on the edit selected item. Edit selected item is the PS4. Let's say they want to be a little more specific now. Everyone knows what PS4 is. So they type in PlayStation 4 and change this to 250. So now when that is changed, you can now see there is the PlayStation 4 updating the client side as well as the server side, and then it also lets me know that the price has been dropped to $207.50. So if I want to change that bid now to $207.50, click place bid. It was a completely valid bid, therefore my bid has been placed. So no one else is really here, and as we are not on a timer, we can't really go up against anyone for the bids. So let's change that a little bit. And let's say I try to log in again. So if I try to log in again with the exact same credentials, it will let me know that I'm already logged into the server and therefore I can't log in again. So instead, let's log in with Christian's user, and let's change his password around a little bit just so we can also prove the functionality of the validation of username and password. So try to log in there, clears the text box right there, lets me know that the username or password is incorrect, please try again. So paste that password again because it's the exact same as the username, and here we are, product form or client form again. And as you see, the C. Hawkins has been added to the list of users. And let's just say Christian just wanted to log in, see what items there were, doesn't see anything that piques his interest, so he logs off. And as you can also see, list of users C. Hawkins gets removed, and it's just C. Dunst in here now. Matt has the same idea as Christian to get on and check the list of items. So he logs in and he joins the server. He sees the PlayStation 4. He likes the look of it, so therefore he places a bid on it. So he places 210 because it's the minimum bid. Hits place bid, lets him know that the bid has been placed, and then it tells C. Dunst that there was a new bid because the list was updated, and also so is the text box. So the current bid is now 210. I have to bid at least $212.50. And let's say the PlayStation 4 has been active for a while, long before either of the people logged in. So the admin looks at the items, decides that they want to end the auction. So they edit the selected item, hit stop auction, lets Matt know that he won the PS4 because he had the highest bid, and then it lets me know that the auction for the PS4 has ended and I did not win the item. So click OK, and on both forms the item has been removed. And then also, there are only 2 items now, so we want to add some additional items. Let's add Arduino microcontroller, Nintendo Switch, Renaissance artwork. My apologies. close that down. So now we see here server list, products in both client forms work, and full functionality works on all products. So yeah, and then none of these are looking good to either me or Matt. So we both decided to close down, and the admin is left with no users and this list of auction items. So yeah, that is the full functionality of the Bid501 server. And yeah,